to all you those seeking vibrant health. I'm Dr. Rachel Northern, family wellness chiropractor here in Johnsburg, Illinois. Northern Light Care is the name of my practice, and today we're talking about the 3 gifts. It is the holiday season right now, and the 3 gifts that were brought to Jesus in the Bible were frankincense, gold, and myrrh. And so we're going to talk about actually herbs that kind of represent that. So actually frankincense is an herb, and so is myrrh. And gold is going to be represented by a herb that is gold, which is turmeric. So we're going to start with this and talk about it. We're going to talk about just the benefits of herbs. So herbs really are the original drugs. Actually, the word herb used to actually, in Latin or some other thing, came from like druos or something. And so drugs are the original, herbs are the original drugs is what I'm trying to say. And herbs have been around since the beginning, since plants have been around. So, mankind has used them since the beginning of time. And, we have so much data on herbs now because we've been practicing with these herbs for all these thousands of years. And it's pretty amazing all the benefits we have. So we're going to talk about those. So first off, I always like to consider, and we got a little update. We got to exit out of here. Sorry for my technical difficulty. We're live, folks. This is how it goes. So consider the possibility of sensitivity to certain herbs. So I do have people that I've come across in my practice that, I might recommend herbs such as echinacea or any other product that sometimes I've had people have reactions to it. And so you got to be careful with your body type. Just because it has benefits, it has research, sometimes people do have adverse effects. Just like pharmaceutical drugs, some people can't take certain drugs, their body reacts with them. So the same thing with herbs. So if you start taking an herb and you're not getting the benefits or start having some different type of reaction that's not noted in the literature, then I would immediately stop taking it, because that might be saying your body is just not right for that herb. Which is nice that there is a variety of herbs out there, and therefore you could just try something else to get the same benefit. Also, herbs do interact with some pharmaceutical products, so you've got to make sure that you don't check cross interactions and contradictions with some herbs if you are on certain medications, because they can enhance or sometimes decrease the effect of a pharmaceutical drug. So you want to make sure that you're wise in how you treat herbs, because they do have effects on the body. Just because they're natural and they come from nature doesn't mean they don't interact and could have some potential harm, but most of the time herbs are beneficial. I always like to talk about quality versus cost. So you can go to any regular corner store, drugstore, and find echinacea or frankincense, boswellia, turmeric right now. Turmeric or curcumin is very popular. That doesn't necessarily mean the quality is there, because it is not an industry that's strictly regulated. So first off, you have to make sure that the quality of the herb is, there. You got to make sure the company is reputable, that it's gonna have the effectiveness of the herb. You got to make sure you're using the herb properly. You got to make sure, the ways you can use the herb is you can do it. Some herbs you can do topically in oils. You can do like the essential oils and vaporize them into the air and breathe them in, and then also you can take them as tablets. So all those ways you want to make sure you have a good quality product, because sometimes I've come across where, for example, echinacea, there's certain part of the plant that has the most medicinal property, but they say they could take the flower and put it in a pill. It's still echinacea, but it's not the medicine part of the plant. But they're not false advertising, because it is the plant, but it's just not the beneficial part of the plant. So you've got to really be a little bit savvy and wise on what herbs and how you use herbs and what qualities. So at the office here, we have a real good company. Standard Process carries Myrrh. Myrrh is actually out of Australia, which they have really strict ways of processing quality control. They want to make sure their plants are very good. Unfortunately, here we can't, in our culture, in our states, we can't really get real good quality herb production. So that's why we Dinner Presses uses imports from Australia and has the company there. And a lot of companies are like that. Essential oils, a lot of essential oils, those herbs and properties they get from other countries because they just have better quality of these. Like everybody here is a Korean ginseng's like the best ginseng. So that is true because they just really know how to keep the plant pure and keep it healthy. So we're going to start with our first one, frankincense. So frankincense is actually Boswellia serrata is what we use in our practice for the oral administration. And so with that, it has been known to be a powerful anti-inflammatory. So if I have someone who just has a lot of inflammation, they're coming in, sometimes if they're having a hot disc or a low back thing, I'm going to, instead of doing the NSAIDs, the over-the-counter anti-inflammatories, or even prescription, I'm going to try to recommend Boswellia because it doesn't have the side effects that the NSAIDs do. So we want to make sure that I always like to enhance the body, support the body naturally, instead of putting more demands on it, that things the body has to deal with, that it has to detox out. So it is from the tree resin, and studies have shown that it is improved in arthritis and also inflammation in the gut. So irritable bowel, research has shown it's helped with irritable bowel symptoms. So it's a good product, and it's fairly safe. There's not a lot of counteractions. I generally don't have to worry about somebody taking any other pharmaceutical medication except for, like I said, the NSAIDs. There has been some research showing it has improved inflammation in the lungs as well, so it helps with asthma. So there's some anti-cancer and anti-aging properties that have been associated with it. And you can take it, most of the time I prescribe it orally in a tablet form, but there is some essential oil companies that do carry where you can put it on your skin and have it absorbed. And they've had actually good benefits with it, doing it that way as well. So like I said, also just be careful because it does interact with, what happens is NSAIDs control one inflammatory chain, and the Boswellia blocks another inflammatory chain or moderates it. And so we want to make sure we're not blocking both inflammatory chains in our body, because inflammation is important. There is a purpose. As a holistic practitioner, the body, for it to heal, inflammation has to occur sometimes, because inflammation is drawing the healthy repair cells into the area, and it's helped cleaning up area that might be damaged. And if we block all that, then the body can't heal, and it just perpetuates a cycle of chronic problems. So we, as holistic practitioners, we want healing just to take place. Let's help the healing process instead of interfere with the healing process. So the second one is the gold, which is, we were talking about turmeric. So curcumin is the medicinal part of turmeric. And so you can say that however you want, turmeric. And it is used a lot in seasonings. I've heard of people talking about putting it in their milk. Some of my older patients grew up with putting it in their milk to settle their stomach. And it is a more fat soluble, and it does cross into the brain. So it is widely popular in India, and there has been some reports that saying even the people in their brains, when they do autopsies, are kind of golden. They also, as a race, have less incidences of Alzheimer's and dementia, and better. It helps decrease inflammation around the brain. So it's, again, a natural anti-inflammatory. It supports joints and also liver digestion, liver detoxification. Also great antioxidant, cleans up free radicals, and we're constantly in our society just exposed to free radicals. Those are like the non-foods we eat, all the stuff in the air that we're breathing in. And so we want to make sure we try to get a healthy dose of that. Also, it's recommended to take orally. It's more commonly orally. I've not heard of any oils or any vaporization of this. It's mostly just more of an oral herb. But research has been out. It's a really great herb. So I did come across, I have some patients that have done this before. I'll be honest, I haven't personally tried it myself, but I have read it's got a great benefits. So something called golden milk. And golden milk is usually they try to make it non-dairy. It's recommended to take like a coconut milk or almond milk and adding turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, black powder, and honey, and stirring it, heating it over a pot. And they say doing like a half a cup to a cup a day is really beneficial. They said it's like great for the heart, great anti-aging, great for the memory, all these things. It's got really good benefits. So like I said, I haven't tried it. So if you guys want to try it and give me a comment and let me know or email me, I would love to hear your feedback on that. The other thing talked about, some of these herbs are best used together, so boswellia and turmeric, and they were saying turmeric with black pepper actually says that it makes it more effective in absorption. Also, taking it, since it is a fat soluble, taking these herbs with, I usually say with your oil, so your flaxseed oil, your fish oil. So if you're also taking other supplements, go ahead and do that, or do like a coconut oil, maybe add to your golden milk might be another way to help that absorb better. And just so you know, the black pepper is optional, but it is help enhance the absorption of the herbs into your system. So our final herb of the day is myrrh. So this has not been really popular. I've not heard a lot about it in the media, but it is a really awesome herb. So it's really helpful. It comes from a tree. Studies have shown it benefits topically, using it topically and orally. And used for topically, it's used for an anesthetic. They've said it helps like kind of decrease bleeding. So using it for hemorrhoids, and say you got a cut, so you can help use it on that as like make a little paste out of it. And it's got really good benefits on that, helping with the healing process. Also because a lot of our leaky gut problems, we're getting bleeding in the gut, so taking it orally, it's kind of like a soothing to the gut as well, the gut line. So it's been also known to help with intestinal function, but also it's a great anti-parasitic, antibacterial. Say if you got a yeast problem, candida problem, any fungal things like that, or any other things. If say you've traveled out of the country to Mexico and you got that Montezuma's revenge, this would be a great herb to either, if you are traveling, to take it with you, or when you get back, make sure you're doing it to help heal that gut and strengthen it and get rid of any ickies that decided to come back with you from vacation. Also, it's really good, again, supports the liver and immune support, like boosting the immune system, helping the white blood cells attack when it needs to attack. But there has been some research showing it with some detoxification of lead. So people have been exposed to heavy metals. It's helped with detoxification of lead. So that's pretty cool research that I've had on that. These three gifts are totally amazing. When I'm looking at that, if you want a rule of thumb, generally about 250 to 500 milligrams is about the oral consumption that I tell people for to get benefits. Now also, just like with any medication or any drug, herbs are similar. Like if you just decide you're only doing a little bit, you might not get all the benefits. Sometimes you have to make sure you get the proper dose, or it's not going to get the benefits. So a lot of times I'll recommend the boswellia, and they're like, well, nothing's happening, and they're only taking one, and I'm telling them take 2 or 3, and so they're not quite bumping it up to help the benefits. I know myself, I've done that myself when I've had something going on. I had an incident once with, I had actually a tooth that got severely, cavity that went awry, and so I remember I was home. Of course, it's on a weekend night where no dentists are available. I was in extreme pain, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna take this boswellia and see if it does anything. And it actually helped me sleep. It actually decreased the pain enough that I could sleep that night. And it was really, I was like, wow, I'm very blessed that I don't really experience pain too much in my life. And so it was a great opportunity to be able to use these herbs when I need it. So I usually sometimes use Boswell as like, that's kind of my Advil that I keep in my cabinet to be the beneficial. Now it's not as a fast in its workings as say an Advil or some of the over the counters. All these herbs are something that's it's like a cumulative effect. You don't always get immediate results. Sometimes it takes a couple days or a couple weeks to actually see the benefits. But then once you see the benefits, it's a overall changing, a lasting benefit versus just turning the signal off. That's what drugs do or pharmaceuticals do. We're actually supporting the body in the healing process. So I love these herbs. I love all these things natural that we can do to help us. And back to the costs, quality versus costs. You know, if you see something that's really cheap, usually it's not a good quality product. Herbs are not cheap because if they're been processed like they're supposed to and to have the medicinal properties, they're going to have a little cost for it. So you need to invest in that to make sure you're getting the best thing. Otherwise, you're just flushing it down the toilet anyway, and it's not really helping you as good. So if you have any other questions, feel free to contact our office. You can check out our website, which is www.thedoctorinu, so the words are all spelled out. Our office number is 815-344-0113, and we're doing a special until January 15th. If you're local, we're doing an introductory offer for $67 to come in and see if this office is a good fit for you. So take care.